Pleasant morning to all of viewers and listeners around the globe. You're logged on for another presentation of Voices. You're logged on to Win FM 98.9 on the FM dial. We're broadcasting from downtown Bastia in the beautiful Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis. What I call my double slice of paradise. It's a bit hazy and overcast, a bit humid, or a mixture of atmospherics downtown Bastia at the moment. It's the third day of July, and of course we are into the hurricane season that's the Atlantic hurricane season as of the 1st of June, and all relief things are happening. So what we do first, though, is before we get into any discussion today, we pause to give credit to our sponsors of the program, and then we continue when we return.
Shopping with TDC just got much easier. Here's how. Log on to shoptdcgroup.com. Shop at your convenience at any time, from anywhere, with your smartphone, tablet, or computer. With our safe and secure payment checkout, you choose the option to pick up in-store or have your goods delivered right to your door. It's that easy. Shop tdcgroup.com, your one-stop online store.
Shop anywhere, shop anytime, same quality you love. Now online. Shop
www.shoptdcgroup.com.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded, and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow! Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 100 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
Hey, once again, good morning and welcome back to the program. My name is Socrates. In the chair today, I'm on normally 3 days of the week. One is Marvelous Monday. Today is what I call Wing It Wednesday. It's a wonderful Wing It Wednesday. And then we have Fantastic Friday. In the meantime, I should inform you there's a guest expected about 11:30. And so betwixt now and then, we'll just have a little chit-chat about what's happening around the world, even downtown Bastia. Example, we know that the hurricane has, there is some distance from where we are. They have actually passed all local. But the wide bandwidth of the winds, the hurricane, is affecting the coastal region of St. Kitts to the point that for the passenger buses that travel from the western end of the island, those that come down and head up on the Bay Road from the Senate off, they now have been diverted and they come through the Fort Thomas Road, what we call the Irish Town Road, because of the wave activity, the sand that it caused to pile up on what we call the Bay Road, the Irish Town Bay Road. So for those who are out there and not knowing exactly what's happening in St. Kitts, as people are reminded that we are indeed in the hurricane season, we would have seen pictures or heard news items of the damage that did to Carriacou in the Grenadines. But so far here in St. Kitts, apart from some mild winds, I wouldn't say strong winds, and of course the average rainfall, it's what we will call hurricane weather, not really to the extent that people are really focused on boarding up, etc., etc. But suffice it to say, along the Irish Town Bay Road, the buses are now no longer coming up from that point of the stand up top up to the bus terminal, but along the Irish Town Bay Road until they clear all that sand that were able to accumulate down there due to the wave activity that dumped all that in the main road. So that's just downtown Bastia. The other part, we're pretty okay, right? I'm going to ask that the lines be open as early as possible because at 11:30 I said I expect a guest. And Richard Bunting, we've got a very serious topic that we need to discuss. But say maybe Monday, if we're on Gospel Live, because I want to give some real time and attention to that particular topic which you introduced. I already spoke to Jamster about it, so he anticipates that if we on Monday, he actually spoke to Inanga also. So if things are in place on Monday, we will entertain that particular topic. It's very, very important in this day and age. And as we speak, there's a caller online, so let's say good morning to the caller. Really? We lost that call. In the meantime, to Miss Rosemary Donald, Chris Collins, Dr. Sweeney, we're waiting to hear your song released on the airways. Dr. Nigel Leader. Locally, we have Sister Henry, Culture, and all the folks who are part of this daily program. We want to say to you a very pleasant morning, and we go to the phone lines. Go to caller, you're live on Voices. Part of this daily program, we want to say to you a very...
Hello?
Yes, you're live on Voices.
Good morning, Socrates.
Yes, good morning. I don't know if it's your phone, but it's a bit soft. You're coming through rather softly.
You hear me any better now?
It's about the same. I don't know if it's your end or here in the studio, but I want to make sure that our guests, our listeners hear you clearly.
Okay, you hear me better now, Socrates?
I'm hearing you. Maybe it's at this end, but I'm hearing you clearly. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes, greetings in Jesus' name. He who is the Savior of his chosen, his elect sinners, saving them from their sins and from hell, and second person of the eternal Trinity. Now, first of all, I would like to say, thank Jesus Christ, the Lord God Almighty, for sparing us thus far from hurricanes and other disasters, earthquake, and those sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We have to thank God for them. I think God is showing us a lot of his mercies, even though we are very disobedient, evil, and wicked people, hypocritical people. We are. Nevertheless, God, in his mercy upon us, he has been sparing us from a lot of disasters, tsunami, you name them all. And we do not know. We do not know the full measure of God's mercy and love on us to spare us of these things. And yet we continue to live in disobedience to his word.
Here's my question. When you say he has been sparing us, is this particular region or demographic you're talking about? Because we hear about tsunamis impacting people's life, negatively. So when you say sparing us, would you please qualify?
Yeah, we've been thinking. My mind is specifically on St. Kitts and Nevis.
Okay.
Where he has been sparing us of these things. in St. Kitts and Nevis, even though we deserve total destruction and ruin, even though we deserve all of such because of all of our evilness and wickedness and disobedience to his word and all of our hypocrisies and that sort of stuff. Nevertheless, he's continually sparing us in St. Kitts and Nevis from these disasters, and we need to fall down on all of our knees in true biblical repentance before him, because his patience only goes so far and no more. His patience have a limit. And when he's ready to act, it's total destruction if we do not repent and start to obey his word. So I thank God. I thank Jesus Christ, who did all, God Almighty, for all of these mercies that he has been showing us so far over the many years. And let us, like I say, get right with God, get right with Jesus Christ, the second person of the Trinity, so that we would continue, if it be his will, we will continue to enjoy his blessings, and we would even grow more and more in his prosperity and blessings. So that is basically what I want to say. Let us get right with Jesus Christ in true godly Christian repentance, biblical repentance. Thank you.
You are very welcomed. And I would like to say that's a very positive way to start the day in terms of the program. I know most people start with prayer. I had a discussion with a friend of mine in New York, and she was saying to me that she has been praying, having seen some of the clips of what happened in Grenada. There's a clip that's making the rounds, I should say, about the devastation as a result of Hurricane Beryl touching down in Carriacou, to be precise. And they appealed from the general public for assistance. I had a call from a friend of mine in Guyana this morning whose son is in the military, and she was informing that people from the military in Guyana, they send in a contingent to assist those affected by the hurricanes in Carriacou, Grenada in general. I would have heard a clip news item where our Prime Minister stated he's sending X amount. I don't recall the exact figure, but financial assistance to the region, or that's promised to anyone in the region that's been affected by the impact of Hurricane Beryl. And a lot has been said about the fact that it's the first time we've had a Category 4 hurricane impacting the region this early. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but not everybody here what is broadcasted all the time. But roughly a month ago, Mr. Abdul Samuel from NEMA, and there was a young lady from the Met Office that were here in the studio, and reaching out to the public to let them know that the blasé attitude that they were presenting need to be changed, and the need to take this particular 2024 Atlantic hurricane season very seriously. They spoke about the increase in the average amount of hurricanes that are named. They say normally it's about 11, and then maybe 4 or 5 would be designated, anticipated to be a Cat 3, 4, 5, etc. What they're saying, we have up to 24 hurricanes or systems identified already based on whatever model that they depend on. They get a reading of the hurricanes during the hurricane season. And they were very, very much alarmed by the increase in numbers and the frequency in which these systems are traveling to the region. I've said, and most folks from SKN know, that it's normally around September that we get any serious impacts from the hurricanes. And over the past few years, we've not had any major negative impact on the islands. We've had, fallout from systems. We've heard about other islands being hit. And we've developed this mantra that we are blessed. I said, no, we've been lucky so far. But the tables are turned. It's a case of hit and miss in most cases, but then it turns around. Let's hear what this caller have to contribute. Wow. Really? Sorry, we missed that caller. I'm going to have to just have you just zip them in as the line indicates. So, yes, so we, the region, as we want to, has been reaching out to assist those affected, those, okay, let's take this call. Could they call your 11 voices?
Hello?
Yes, your 11 voices.
Okay, I could hear you loud now. You could hear me loud too?
Loud and clear.
Okay, good. Good morning, the King.
And welcome to the program.
As usual, I would advise you to put a strong elastic on your crown and run it under the chin and hook it up on the other side.
The crown is safe, man. The crown is safe. Once the king, as they would say.
Yeah. Okay, every disappointment, brother, you got some good coming behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And those people who are building wall houses right now and they got a foundation to full up to the flooring, this is a good opportunity for them to get this sand off the street down Irishtown Bay Road and full up the
Is that
foundation.
a good thing, though, because the salt content isn't really good for construction?
Yeah, but listen here.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to mix up the concrete nor the mortar with that sand, you know.
As a
It's
filler?
only to full up to make packing.
Mm-hmm.
And then when that reaches up to the top, and then they put on the Latin, then the concrete is mixed up with the correct sand, not sea sand.
What we call the God sand?
Yes.
Okay.
Right, so there would be no sand. But when you don't full up the foundation with the sand, you ram it as usual, and there would be no cracking in the flooring because no salt would be in the concrete that they use to do that.
Okay, you into construction, so you'll be better, you know more than me.
But I'm going to ask you one more thing, and then I'm going so long because I don't want to hold no topic with that. But
Okay.
when the Bible tells us, right, that God created man from where? Dust of the earth?
That is what we're told.
Right. And when they throw the 3 Hebrew boys in the fiery furnace to burn, Jesus went in there to protect them and bring them out because he mean they was not supposed to be destroyed by no fire.
Okay.
So my question is this. We come from the dust of the earth. I think we should return to the dust of the earth rather than go burn me up.
And your point is?
That is it. Why go burn me up and I could go back to the dust of the earth? Bury me. Well, you know, that is just my opinion, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Other people would have their own opinion. Some people say, well, economically it's cheaper and...
You're talking about cremation.
Right, yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay, you're talking about cremation.
Yeah, economically it's cheaper and, you know, it takes up less time. So there's a lot of reasons why people make the choice or that decision to cremate the dead ones.
Because of economics, but culturally, there are ethnicities who that is the way they take care of the loved ones. When I say take care, after they would have passed, is cremation. It's part of that particular culture.
Everybody got their own style and choice.
So it may be a form of their religion.
Mm-hmm. That is one.
It may be a form of their religion, but we're accepting what we read in the King James Bible, that we came from dust, and to dust we will return. There are folks who request a water burial.
Yeah,
I can call 3 names of person who requested a water burial, and they wishes were honored. It may sound morbid, but maybe it's a religious or cultural thing, but it happens.
This might be like a light moment, but when I did, and you put me in the furnace there and I feel heat, I'm going to out it.
Well, we don't know where your conscience lies, because nobody's been there and returned with an accounting say, hey, this is what I felt. I've spoken to people who claim they were in that sense where it was believed they were dead, clinically dead. But they were hearing, and there was a way of every single thing, but could not move, could not speak, could not respond. But somehow they returned and was able to give an account of what they experienced when they were already declared clinically dead. So who knows if sometimes when you put you in the furnace, as you say, you may want to come out. We don't know.
I was told about a story.
Mm-hmm.
They put a man in there after the man was in a coma for so many hours. And when the man in there and he feel the heat, he said, "Take me out." And
Okay.
the person who put the man in there, he said, "Look, the doctor say you're dead, and you can stay in there."
It's good to have these light moments, but these things do happen.
Yes. Okay, let me let somebody else come in, man.
Much appreciated. It's now about 20 minutes down past the 11 o'clock hour. We're going to pause now to give credit to our sponsors and come back and have a little chit-chat before our guest shows up.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded, and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow! Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 100 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
Magnum, my brand. Everybody put a Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum, let me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot Magnum when me have in a me hand there. He are a sipper, she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah. Right now a Magnum a for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a Magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Chip, chip, chip. We wanna get chip, chip, chip.
Give your little smartie the perfect smart start for their future with CHIP, the child investment plan from TDC Financial Services. Invest in your child's next step, and we know what's next is always changing.
Chip, chip, chip. We wanna get chip, chip, chip.
CHIP is a long-term plan with no minimum deposit, no monthly commitment, and you're guaranteed a special high interest rate per annum.
I want chip. I want chip too.
Visit TDC Financial Services today and get CHIP, the child investment plan, providing the best head start for every child.
Chip, chip, chip. We wanna get chip, chip, chip.
Once again, good morning to our viewers and listeners out there as we welcome you back to another segment of today's presentation of Voices. We've had a couple of calls this morning. One from Jeffrey, who spoke about our region being blessed, so to speak, because when you know the countries that are affected by typhoons and hurricanes and how we fare. And such, we need to be more graceful. There are those who feel that we live in a period of grace. And normally after natural disaster or during, we get different attitudes. We adopt. Sometimes we get more pensive, more prayerful. All I'm asking is that, and this is what the folks from NEMA and the Met Office has been advocating, that for this particular hurricane season, we have to be very, very vigilant, very careful, and make preparations for the worst. If it doesn't happen, fine. One of the things that we discussed during the last program is our elders, especially those who may live by themselves, and what we ought to do in terms of anticipating how we can preempt a disaster from happening. Where there's always the aspect of these folks who are living by themselves during a hurricane where communication lines and even access to where they live can be compromised. At that particular point in time, it's difficult to get emergency services in place, etc. So you anticipate and you prepare for them. I was given a number of numbers or contacts that should be used in this particular incident where, and I'm going to share them now because we have a few minutes before guests right. I'm going to share these numbers of the folks at NEMA who are managers of certain districts. I'm going to do that now. Let's see. So we have District 1, Southeast Peninsula to Victoria Road East. The manager is Mr. Ron Buddy, and the number is 6630421. His assistant manager is Mr. Hester Rollins, and the number is 6600901. For District 2, this will be from Victoria Road West to Wrigley Avenue East. The manager's name would be Mr. Vincent Fo. And his number is 663-1130. His assistant would be Mr. Sidney Bridgewater, whose number is 664-1037. We're going to District 3, and this would be from Wrigley Avenue West to Palmetto Point. The manager's name is Karen Crossman, and his number's name, her number is 661-3282. Her assistant would be Livingston Huggins, we know Livy, and he's 664-7948. We come now to District 4, that's Challengers to New Guinea. And the manager's name is Derek Boone. His number is 663-6401. Assistant would be Mr. Corinne Small. It's Miss. I don't see a Miss, but I know Miss Small. And her number is 663-5036. We come down now to District 5, that's Sandy Point to Fig Tree. Manager's name is Travis Douglas, 660-8591. Assistant manager, Preeta Douglas, and she is 665-0606. To Newton Ground, District 6, that's Newton Ground to Harris's. Manager's name is Eric Francis, 765-9719, and the assistant would be Joseph Richardson, 661-8734. District 7, Bellevue to Otley's Gut West. Manager's name is Warren Thomason, 668-8922. The assistant will be Traveling Stapleton, and we have a number for Cuban Sergeant, 668-8922. They're the same, actually. Don't know how that is. Two different persons, two different numbers. District 8, Otley's Gut East to St. Paul's, or to St. Peter's, sorry. And the manager's name would be Ryder Claxton, 667-1133. His assistant would be the assistant manager would be Jeremy Thomas, and the number is 668-9595. Okay. So these are numbers of the managers of NEMA, the various districts. Those are numbers you should have, just in case of an emergency. If you want to discuss protocol with them prior to the impact or touchdown of any hurricane system, you should have these numbers, and I'll share some emergency numbers sometime after. It's roughly 11:28. We have our expected guest in the studio. We will do what in the meantime? Let's take an extension break, Trent, while we get her prepared for her interview, okay? So downtown one more time.
Financial Services, we're here for you to help you make your dreams come true. Whether your needs are big or small, we'll support you with them all. TDC Financial Services, we are strong. TDC Financial Services, this is where you belong.
TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded, and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow! Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 100 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
Rams the good food people always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people. Rams. When you need better service, Rams is always here. Better value, better prices. Rams is always here. Rewarding your loyalty. Rams is always here. We are community. We are family. We are family. Rams for you and me. We are community. Rams for you and me.
At 11:31, we want to say to you once again, welcome back to the program. Our very esteemed guests have arrived, and I was told a few days ago you're having a guest. Her name is XYZ, and this is the topic. So, as I said to you a while ago, I am totally ignorant about this particular topic. So I'm going to have her walk us through. Well, introduction, the lady, is Miss, I don't see your name here.
Dale Amory.
Dale Amory. Okay, so welcome to the studios of WINNMedia FM 98.9.
Thank you.
Welcome to Voices. And as I said, you just gave your name. So you're here to discuss the topic of yoga. And I would like you to continue. My name is, and you continue, and we'll let you speak rather than me try to interview you because I'm really ignorant of the topic.
Right.
So the mic is yours.
Wow. Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. I'm very excited to be here this morning, to have this opportunity to speak to you about the offerings of yoga in our twin islands of St. Kitts and Nevis. And most importantly, I'm here to promote an event that is happening this Sunday, the 7th of July, at 4 p.m. at the Governor General's house. I'm so grateful that she's allowed us in to have this event there on Sunday. And like I said, it starts at 4. It would be going for about an hour and a half. And it's to celebrate the International Day of Yoga. The International Day of Yoga was actually the 21st of June, which is the summer solstice. So it was chosen on that day because it is the longest day of the year. This came about in 2014 when the Prime Minister Modi of India approached the UN about having a day to recognize yoga. And it was unanimously voted that it would be something that the world should celebrate. It is a practice, but it's also a science. And it has been practiced for thousands and thousands of years. How they practice yoga, those thousands of years ago, we're still doing it today, especially the physical part of it. But there is so much more to yoga than just the physical. It helps you bring balance and harmony into all aspects of your being. So, along with the physical, which I'll call your body, it also helps with your emotions, your energy, your mind, and how you create the environment with which you live in. So, one of the myths that I'd like to strike out this morning is that yoga is only for certain people that are flexible or strong. Yoga is for everybody, all body shapes, all sizes, all ages, all colors, creeds, religions. It doesn't matter. It's for everybody, and it is celebrated internationally throughout the world. So that's enough about yoga. What I'm really excited about is that the event on Sunday is open for everybody. So please come out. The first 100 people to register, and I'll give you the information on how to register, will receive a free t-shirt and also a free yoga mat to take home, and then you can practice yourself at home. That's another beauty of yoga. All you need is yourself, your body, your breath, and your willingness to practice. A little space where you can throw down a mat or a towel, and you're good to go. So I think that's a pretty good summary to start with. Any questions come up from there?
Yes, there would be. As I said, I'm totally ignorant, so
Sure.
I'm after an education. Sunday is the 10th anniversary
Yes.
of the International Day of Yoga.
Yes.
And what I'm reading here says, imagine yoga St. Kitts and yoga BJ. What does that mean?
Okay, so Imagine Yoga is my business here in St. Kitts. I've had my studio open since 2019. I have a studio in Frigate Bay in my home, and I offer classes in Hatha Yoga, which is the traditional practice of yoga, and I also offer sound therapy. And
Sound therapy?
Sound therapy and sound baths. So sound therapy is, again, a very old modality of healing our body. But the nice thing about living in this day and age is that science now actually is proving the benefits of sound therapy, yoga, meditation, all of these for our bodies. And it can show how it can help us with many different ailments. I'm sure most people out there have heard the increase of mental health in all aspects of society all over the world. So all of these individual practices and therapies can help us. Again, as I explained before, it's not only the physical, it can help us with our emotional and our mental health, and everything is connected. So sound therapy, what I do is I use specially tuned instruments, and those instruments resonate with every cell in our body. And when our cells are healthy, we're healthy. So throughout our life, as days go by and situations come up, you know, we tend to hold on to stress. We tend to hold on to anxiety. We're fearful of what's going to happen. And we cause tension, sometimes unnecessarily, in our own bodies. So yoga, sound therapy, which really is a type of meditation. But I know a lot of you out there say, I can't meditate, I can't sit still, I can't do that. So because I bring you in, I get you settled down so that you're nice and comfortable and relaxed, and then I start to play my instruments, you automatically go into a nice deep meditation, which is very healing for you.
How long will the average session last?
About an hour.
About an hour?
Yeah, about an hour.
And the demographic you've seen signing up for your program is what, Millie?
Oh, I am so excited to say that so many people throughout St. Kitts and Nevis are really into this now. because they've come and they've tried it and they've loved it. And I've been going out to schools, I've been doing workshops for guidance counselors, I've done workshops for banks, I've done workshops for insurance companies. Anybody that's willing to come and try, I am so open to offering this for them because I know how beneficial it is, because it's helped me, as you were just mentioning, my gorgeous husband that I was married to for 23 years and that I lost 7 years ago. I went through a very, very difficult, probably the most difficult period of my life. And yoga, meditation, and sound therapy has helped me get through all of that. And
for those who don't know whom the young lady is referring to the very handsome, debonair Reggie Amri, the late, of course. It was a shock when the news hit the Federation. But I can tell you, apart from his charisma and all that, he was very charismatic. He was very, very popular and very much loved.
Very much
I can tell you
loved.
that.
Yes.
So it was really, the last time we spoke, I think he was traveling at the airport and he was giving a topic. He was suggesting a certain topic for Calypso.
Right.
So we had a good rapport and all that. So yes, we're talking to I don't like to say widow, but
That's what
the
it is.
partner of
Yeah.
Mr. Reggie Amri, who passed some 7 years ago, is
That's
it?
correct. That's correct.
And you said that you've been established since 2019 or prior to that?
2019.
2019.
Yes. I started my training actually in 2015. I started my training in Canada, and then I actually went to India and did my teacher training course for yoga. And the following year, I went to the UK, and that's where I trained in sound therapy.
Okay.
And then once I had both of those training completed, I came back and I opened up my studio. My main goal, and it's still part of my path and it's part of my vision, is I want to get yoga and meditation into all the schools here in St. Kitts and Nevis, because it's so beneficial. And if we can get the children when they're young, it can really make a difference.
You made reference to the mindset that people think it's only for a certain body type or a certain physique. I want to speak to us about that, because there are people who may be intimidated by a certain physique and figure, well, that's not for me. I don't want it. I'll be embarrassed, etc. So let's.
So because yoga is more about an internal journey. So, but what's happened is since yoga has come to the Western world, it's really turned into more of a business and it's become more commercialized, when that is not the purpose of yoga. The purpose of yoga is more of a finding yourself, because what I've learned on this path is that all of life happens from within. So through this journey, we use the physical practices along with the breath.
Breathing techniques?
Very much so, a part of yoga. You actually move with your breath. So, for example, if we're going to do a forward fold in yoga, which means from a standing position, you're going to bend from your hips and take your torso down towards your thighs and your legs. You inhale, and on the exhale is when you bend forward. So every move is paired with your breath. And that is what causes the balance and harmony to come in within your body, and also for you to be more tuned into what is happening in your own body. I encourage people to, once they get on the mat, is to not think about anything else off the mat, not think about what anybody else is doing. Just pay attention to the guidelines that I'm giving with your breath and with your movement, and feel into their body and listening to what their mind is telling them while they're going through the asanas, which is what we call postures, which are the movements in yoga. And some of them, listen, one of the hardest poses in yoga is what we call shavasana. It's corpse pose. It's basically lying on your back, letting everything
Corpse
go.
pose.
Corpse pose. You're supposed to look like a corpse. And you lie there with your eyes closed, and you're supposed to make everything still in your body. The only thing that should be moving is your lungs, and you can feel your heartbeat. Other than that, clear your mind, release everything from your body, and just totally relax.
Empty your...
Yeah. Empty out all the...
So that's different to meditation, is it?
Well, it is a type of, like, it's done at the end of your practice. So if yoga class lasts for an hour, the last 5 minutes will be for if you're bringing your body back kind of thing, or lying in a shavasana, lying quietly so that everything can settle into your body. Because you've just not only moved your body for the physical purposes, but also to bring that balance and harmony into, and the feeling of calm. Our natural state to be as human beings is calm, relaxed, and still. Think about how many times during your day you feel that.
Oh,
Just answer that, please.
Chaotic. It's chaotic.
It's chaotic,
Because
right?
you go from one thing to the next, you're wasted.
Exactly.
So this speaks to a certain state of mental and physical wellness.
Thank you.
Okay.
Because everything is connected. You can't have physical health unless you have mental health.
That is correct.
And if you can't have, if you don't have mental health,
You must
you're
have
going to
that
have
balance.
Yes, if you don't have mental health, you're going to be feeling in your physical body
Anxieties and all that.
Yes.
Now, is there certain diets associated with that particular practice?
There is, but it's not something that, if I was going to advise somebody on starting off on a yoga journey, if you haven't done it before, diet wouldn't be the first thing that I would approach. And I always like to break things down for people, because if not, again, like you just said, our lives are chaotic anyway. The goal is to make it simpler, to make it easier, to flow better. So that we can get rid of some of that chaos and some of that complications. Because a lot of times, the chaos and the complications is something that we're creating ourselves.
Does the Zen state come into play? Speak to us more. That we're going to take a break in a while, but for the folks who are listening, and yoga, I've seen it. It's a East Indian culture or practice and so on. Why should we in-sync it? What are the benefits? How does it benefit me? How do I, if I want to get involved in it, how do I get into the program?
Well, so the thing is, yoga is a practice that will naturally bring well-being to you. And it's something that it's a very simple practice. I guess I'll just use the word practice or modality, that even if you could start with 5 minutes a day, and even if you could start with just your breath, you will help yourself calm down. And when you're calmer and more relaxed in your body, yoga will help you with your flexibility, with your balance. It will help you with your heart rate, so it cuts down on cardiovascular disease, cuts down on your blood pressure, cuts down on stress, cuts down on any type of what we would call preventable disease. It will help you because it works on the mental, and it will help you quiet your mind as you go through the practice, the physical practice, syncing it with your breath. Then you will let go of all of that stuff that's going on in your head all the time. The stories, the what you have to do, the what ifs, the should be's, the shouldn'ts, and all that kind of stuff.
Just be still.
It's just to be still.
Okay. What is the difference between this and Pilates?
Pilates is, so what I understand about Pilates, and I'm not an expert on Pilates, I'll tell you that, but Pilates is it's a combination of yoga and what we used to call, remember aerobics?
Yes.
Remember we used to do aerobics class? Guys, I used to teach Jane Fonda's aerobics class. Okay, yes. So I'm aging myself now. But yes, so it's a combination of those two. And it's more for the physical. Whereas
Pilates.
Yes. Whereas
This
yoga
now is more for the spiritual, mental being.
mental, yes. And I'm glad you brought up that word spiritual, because this is another myth of yoga, is that it's a form of religion. And it's not. It's an individual practice. You can be from any religion, any walk of life, and yoga can still be beneficial for you. As a matter of fact, if you are a Christian or a Muslim or a Hindu or whatever, yoga will only it will enhance who you are. So you will become a better person in all areas of your life. So that's the beauty of yoga.
Okay. Let's take a quick session break, Trent, and then we come back with Miss Miss Army just before the midday news break.
Magnum, my brand. Everybody put a Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum, make me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot Magnum when me have in a me hand there. He are a sipper, she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah. Right now a Magnum a for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a Magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Insurance Company Limited, where you get more coverage for less.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded, and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow. Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 100 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
I hope you've been listening. We've been chatting with Miss Army, and she's talking about yoga, her studio where it is, the upcoming event that will be on the 7th of, Sunday the 7th. Mm-hmm. There will be an event up at the Governor General's residence, and you're invited. It's free. Mm-hmm. Please come and be edified. In the meantime, we'll continue with sharing information about yoga and speaking more about diets and food and stuff like that.
Right. Okay, so the miracle, I call yoga the miracle. The miracle of yoga is that it helps you tune in more to everything that your body feels. Your body is always talking to you. So food, I've heard this saying, you are what you eat. And that is so true, because the healthier you choose to eat, the healthier you will feel in your body. So yoga, most yogis, true yogis, are vegetarians. They only eat a plant-based diet. I'm not that type of person. I do try my best to eat vegetarian, but I will eat chicken or eggs. So you don't have to be a vegetarian. It's about how much you eat, and it's about when you eat. I always thought that I had to eat to get all of the energy that I needed to do what I needed to do in my life. But our energy comes from so many different places. So, for example, the more you eat, the harder it is on your digestive system. And your digestive system takes a lot of energy from our bodies. So if you eat less, but still enough to survive, then you'll naturally have more energy. When you eat is so important. We, as yogis, they will tell you that at this age now, like in our 50s and 60s, we could do with just 2 meals a day. I was brought up to believe that we had to eat 3 meals a day. I was brought up to believe that breakfast was the most important meal of the day. Actually, if you can every day go for 13 to 14 hours without anything in your body, without giving yourself
13
to 14 hours. That's called a fast. You've probably heard it. There's a key word going around lots of social media and everything now. It's called intermittent fasting.
But there are certain people with certain conditions who are advised by their doctors not to go beyond 9 hours.
Well, then they need to speak to their doctor.
Talking about
that.
diabetics,
Yes.
they shouldn't go beyond 9 hours.
Well, see, diabetics is something that we can talk about because, you know, diet can help with helping to, I don't know the proper word, I'm not a medical person, but improve your condition with diabetes and maybe even eliminate it based on the food.
Metabolism.
Yeah.
Overall.
Yeah. So, but again, if you are under the care of the doctor for something like that, whether it is diabetes, hypertension, you know, heart disease, high blood pressure, anything like that, then absolutely you have to work with your doctor through this process. But I can guarantee you that there is ways that we could help improve your life with diet and yoga or any other types of exercise too.
How many hours without eating?
13, 14. But think about this. If you have your dinner at 6 o'clock at night and you don't eat after dinner, you go to bed whatever time. If you're up at 6 or you're up
Breakfast
at
is
7.
around 7.
Right? That's right. That's 13 hours there.
That's correct.
It's an easy thing for your body to do. Okay? And there's lots of health benefits to that you know, I could speak to, but I'd have to be more prepared to speak to it to make sure that I'm giving the proper information. Okay. So I don't want to say something here that could throw somebody off. But what I do want to say is, please, if this is sparking a light in anybody that's out there listening, come and join us on Sunday because this is an event for our whole community. It is free. There will be food, there will be drinks, it'll be a fun event. You can bring your children, you can bring your friends, and we will tell you more about it. And also because we'll have experts there. When you mention my studio, Imagine Yoga, and then there's another lady here that's going to be joining me to help me co-host the yoga. Her name is Yoga Bay J. So,
okay, that's
you know,
I was trying to figure out, you know,
yeah. So Jay is there. You know, she's another expert in this field and practices yoga, and she does yoga 9 o'clock Saturday mornings 7 o'clock Saturday mornings at the National Heroes Park. So that's another great place for people that want to go and check it out. So again, we're trying to encourage as many people. Please give it a try. It's only going to help you. There's nothing to hinder. And another thing, a little tip if I could give people. People say, well, I tried it. I didn't like it. It didn't work for me. Listen, we didn't walk the first step we took. We didn't talk the first word we said. We didn't get in a car and drive on a highway as soon as we stepped in a car. It's like learning anything new. It takes persistence. It takes patience. It takes practice. It's always and a mindset. Do it for yourself. Do it for yourself. I always tell people you have to look after yourself first. Self-care is not selfish. It is the most beneficial thing you can do for yourself, for your family, for your friends. Because when you're feeling 100%, you can give 100%. If you only feel 50%, what can you give? Right? So, and the other thing that yoga can help you do is help rise up your energy. Right? So, and our vibrations. You know, I used to think, vibrations, what are you talking about? We're all vibrating. Right? Everything in this world is energy, and it's all vibrating.
You use crystals?
I do, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and So when we're operating from our higher vibrations, our vibrations of compassion, our vibrations of gratitude, our vibrations of love, our vibration of caring and sharing, understanding, humility, all of those makes us automatically feel better. And just try it. See how you feel in your body when you're angry or frustrated, or when you're, seeing
Calm.
your favorite person and that lightness comes all over you.
It's like a bomb.
Right?
Okay, for yoga students, what do they call it, yogi?
Well, you can call it, yeah. But yoga students, yeah.
All you need is a mat.
That's all you need.
But with Pilates, you need other.
No, well, again, it's with like Pilates. I mean, there's other props that we can use in yoga to help you get deeper
But mainly
into
with the yoga.
But mostly, yes. And I think with Pilates too, as long as you have a mat, there's lots of things you can do for Pilates with just a mat.
Typical session.
I'm sorry?
A typical session.
typical
For the person
session.
who listening
Yeah.
who may not be there because they know there will be demonstrations on Sunday.
Sunday, absolutely.
Okay, but a typical session. Say it
typical
lasts about an hour.
Yep.
What does that entail?
So we come in, I get you seated on your mat. We go through a process of just I call it dropping in. So letting go of everything else that's going
So
on.
you don't go to the lotus position right away?
Yeah, you sit in your
Because your bones
cross-legged.
all...
Yeah.
You're not that flexible as yet.
No, right.
Okay.
But again, if you're uncomfortable like that, stretch your legs out, right? No judgment, just 100% acceptance of everybody and what they can do. That's the joy of yoga. It's so full of love and acceptance.
There are people who would say, well, I am old, I'm this old, so this is not for me because I'm not as flexible, and so on. So
Well, guess what? There's chair yoga. My mom is 82 years old, and I have her doing chair yoga.
Chair yoga.
Chair on it. You sit on
That's something that can grab the imagination because not everybody can go on the mat and go to that lotus position.
I hear you, right? But they can sit in a chair.
I'll take the chair.
Yes, okay. So I have to bring some chairs out on Sunday. Okay, I'm going to organize some chairs for people who want to do chair yoga, and we'll adapt and show them how to do it in a chair. Absolutely. I love it. I love it.
I think this is important because the average image is in the lotus position on a mat, trying to reach that Zen state of mind, etc.
Right. Yeah.
But there's chair yoga.
Absolutely.
Because once you start to think about it, the possibilities are
huge.
It's for you.
Yes.
You can do it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Everybody can do it. Everybody. It's for everybody. And, again, the physical, but it's what it brings to your overall well-being. I feel like now I float through life. I have a great flow in life. Nothing can bother me.
You got a great aura.
Right?
I can tell you that.
Yeah. Because you know what? My motto in life is I lead my life with love, because love is the energy of life.
Second?
I lead my life.
You lead your life
with love.
With love.
Because love is the energy.
Love is the energy
of life. Love is the highest vibration.
Music?
Music can. Do you love music?
My thing is my music is my life is my music.
There you go. But you love it, right?
Definitely.
It brings you joy.
As a matter of
makes
fact,
you
that's
happy.
my peace, that's my center.
Exactly.
Give me my guitar, my piano, I'm good to go.
Right, exactly.
So I leave the world behind, and that's my Zen space.
Beautiful. That's
so
beautiful.
I can relate to that, and I will make every effort to join you on Sunday.
Yes.
It's 4 o'clock. Don't come for 4. Get there a bit earlier.
Get there a bit earlier.
There's parking issues. There will be parking issues.
Yes.
You have to be seated comfortably.
Yes.
So you can start
Yes.
at 4 with people seated, comfortable,
Yes.
and ready to be
Right.
Educated.
Yes.
I am appealing to all the folks who may not have any interest, but to listen and go and find it for yourself, because you're trying to get it in the schools. You've reached out to the schools.
Yes.
has
And
been the,
some of the ministers that were there last year, they made a commitment that they were going to get it into the schools. So, a year has passed, and that's okay. We
Any
can't go
reminder?
back. Of course, I've given them reminders, but that's okay. We can't go back. We can only go forward, right?
Only go forward.
We can only go forward. So, hey, we can start now, right?
Wouldn't that be a wonderful thing to have all the ministers in the class?
Oh, I love it. We had a few last year. Absolutely. Yes, and they loved it.
No, as a regular.
As a regular.
As regular appliance.
Yes, absolutely. And I've offered that too. I'm like, guys, if you want me to come once a week and do a session, I'm open
You
to
think they
that.
need it?
Everybody needs it. I think everybody needs it. I think everybody
Because
needs
then a
yoga
very,
in their
very
life.
stressful.
Well, this is it. They even,
Yeah.
so, and once you feel how it can help you with that stress,
Mm-hmm.
you will never want to let it go. It's a way of being. Yoga is really, you have to do things, but then you find that it's a way of being.
It's also education that we need because we have too
Of
much
course.
information about what to eat, what to do. This is really for your spiritual being, which is very important.
Well, it's also about your inner self. Whoever taught us how to manage ourselves, our energy, our emotions?
Well, you're told as a boy not to express emotions.
What a shame. What a shame. Yeah. Yeah.
And ladies are supposed to behave in a certain way.
Right.
So from that perspective, but men are supposed to contain their emotion.
Right.
Don't show weakness. Don't do that. You know what I mean? And so that's very constraining.
It is and guess where you hold on to that? You hold on to that in your body, right? And then you don't.
Your arteries.
Yeah, and you don't.
That tension.
Right. Then you don't have the ease. You don't have the flow that I'm talking about, and it creates dis-ease.
So this is also a form of therapy.
Of course, absolutely. Huge part of therapy. So yeah, and I mean, there's nothing but benefits, really. Like there's nothing, that's
In this helter-skelter schedule that we take daily, did you mention that there's one lesson or class or session?
Oh, yes, right.
Around 7 in the morning. What about the other times? Are there any evening classes?
Yes, there's
Because-
evening classes. There's a lovely lady on the island, Kara. She does 2 classes a week at Timothy Beach Hotel at 6:15, and she does a beautiful class 9:00 Saturday mornings out at the Coconut Farm.
Would that be up by the pool at Timothy?
Yes, up by the pool on Timothy. Yeah. So more and more it's being offered here on the island, and it's available. And again, I love the idea of getting in at school, but I'm going to say quickly, a regular session, yes, we come in, we drop in, we go through some seated positions, we go through some standing positions, Okay. And we end with our Shavasana. So it's a beautiful practice. Please reach out. I'm here to help anybody that's interested. And thank you so
hopefully
much.
we can see you on the 7th Sunday up at the Governor General's residence.
Yes.
Starting from 4:00.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yes.
We'd have to break now for the midday WINNMedia midday newscast. So what I'll do, I'll share some more information after.
Beautiful.
Just to keep the conversation going.
Yes.
Thank you for being here. We now
Thank
pause
you.
for WINNMedia's midday newscast.
Great. Thank you.
You found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured. Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
With the WINNFM Midday News, I am Kevon Brown. Our top stories.
Police issue advisory on e-commerce scams. ECCB concludes 2023-2024 financial year with record profits. Sedima officials share harsh reality of Hurricane Beryl's impact. Grenada receives aid from Guyana following passage of Hurricane Beryl. In St. Lucia, Soufriere waterfront and cemetery washed out by storm surge from Hurricane Beryl. Internationally, Joe Biden asked to step aside in race for U.S. president.
Now the details.
The White Collar Crime Unit, WCCU, of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force, in collaboration with the St. Kitts and Nevis Financial Intelligence Unit, has issued a public advisory to assist citizens in identifying and preventing e-commerce scams. Recent intelligence indicates that individuals use social media platforms to pose as legitimate sellers of goods, exploiting online transactions to deceive buyers. The general public is advised to exercise caution when using social media to buy and sell goods and when making online payments. The following recommendations are provided to help safeguard against potential scams. Exercise caution. Be vigilant when conducting business on social media. Verify your sellers. Avoid proceeding with transactions if the seller is unknown or cannot be verified. Confirm authenticity. Confirm via telephone whether the seller possesses the goods and verify the selling price. Verify payments. Ensure that payment is received by contacting the seller directly. Avoid unknown sellers. Be cautious of purchasing goods from unknown individuals as these items could be stolen. The police force and the Financial Intelligence Unit continue to work towards their national mandate combating money laundering and related activities through this advisory, according to a release from the police. The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank has concluded its 2023-2024 financial year with remarkable achievements, reporting a record profit of $80.2 million, the highest in its 4-decade history serving the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, ECCU. The financial year themed reflection, celebration, and implementation in honor of the ECCB's 40th anniversary showcased significant progress and strategic initiatives to advance financial stability and resilience across member states. Throughout the year, the ECCB made substantial strides in several key areas. It progressed toward establishing a regional standard-setting body for non-banking financial sector regulation and laid the groundwork for an Office of Financial Conduct and Inclusion. The bank also prepared for the launch of a regional credit bureau and successfully conducted its inaugural Financial Inclusion and Literacy Survey, which was pivotal in enhancing financial literacy across the ECCU. Governor Timothy N.J. Antwine underscored the ECCB's commitment to regional economic growth through initiatives such as the Big Push Challenge, which aims to double the region's economies over the next decade. He highlighted the issuance of the commemorative $2 banknote featuring Sir Vivian Richards as a symbol of regional pride and achievement. Financially, the ECCB reported total assets of $5.7 billion as of March 31st, 2024. This figure included adjustments in both foreign and domestic assets. Liabilities decreased by 5% to $5.4 billion, while equity surged by 75.5% to $316 million, driven by increased profits and investment revaluation reserves. Operationally, the ECCB achieved a substantial revenue increase of 520.6%, reaching $176.1 million. This growth was primarily fueled by higher interest income on foreign reserve assets. The bank utilized these revenues to bolster its operational framework, including advancements in risk management and digital transformation initiatives. Looking ahead, the ECCB remains focused on enhancing regional financial stability through innovative policy measures. These include the development of climate risk stress testing frameworks and investments in renewable energy infrastructure. Efforts to modernize payment systems and promote financial inclusion are expected to strengthen economic resilience across the ECCU further. The stark reality of the damage caused by Hurricane Beryl is now coming to light as the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, CDEMA, has gathered on-the-ground data. During a press conference on July 3rd, Executive Director of CDEMA, Elizabeth Briley, confirmed that the storm had severely impacted Grenada and the Grenadines Islands.
As at July 2, yesterday evening, we can confirm that there has been some impact in Barbados, St. Lucia, minimal impacts for Dominica, but it is very clear that it was the Grenadines of St. Vincent, particularly Canouan, Meru, and Union Island, as well as the Grenadines of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique, which bore the brunt of Hurricane Beryl. Beryl, as you know, following its traversing of the Eastern Caribbean chain, intensified to a Category 5 hurricane, and at this time it is forecast to impact Jamaica,
St. Vincent.
So with respect to Canouan, which has a total population of approximately 12,600 persons, we know that 100% of that population was affected. There is an estimated 90% of the houses that were damaged, either extensively or destroyed. The police station in Charlestown is also known to have lost its roof. In terms of access, the runway has been cleared, and we've confirmed through an aerial recce that the surface of that runway is intact and it is usable. With respect to Union Island, which has a total population of 3,000, the full population was also affected by Beryl. There's been extensive damage to the island. An estimated 98% of the buildings, including houses, the airport building, have been badly damaged or destroyed. The control tower of the airport was also destroyed, and the hospital roof was also destroyed. The power plant,
St. Lucia, Barbados, and Dominica.
We are aware that initial damage reports include over 40 homes being damaged, with numbers expected to rise as the damage assessment continues. We have also confirmed significant damage to the fishing sector, as well as coastal infrastructure, particularly along the south coast of the island. It is reported that over 200 boats were damaged, and there were partial road obstructions due to debris, as well as fallen trees. The damage assessments, of course, will give us a full understanding of the extent of the impact and will also guide recovery. With respect to St. Lucia, significant damage was experienced in the southern section of St. Lucia, specifically in the area of Soufriere, along the waterfront, and there were also reports of landslides as well as fallen trees. And St. Lucia has mobilized, as Barbados, its internal resources to treat the impact so far. With respect to Tobago, there were reports of damage across the Twin Islands state of Trinidad and Tobago, reports of power outages as well as water disruption on Tobago, and temporary blocked roadways on both islands. Dominica indicated that there was minimal damage.
CARICOM leaders met virtually to discuss responses to assist affected member states.
In regional news,
Grenada receives aid from Guyana following passage of Hurricane Beryl. Guyana News Source has that report.
Grenada has received the first shipment of relief aid from Guyana as the sister CARICOM state recovers from the ravages of Hurricane Beryl, which made landfall in the Grenadian island of Carriacou on Sunday. In a statement, the Guyana Civil Defense Commission said the relief items included generators, water purification tablets, chainsaws, batteries, hygiene items, and other necessities. The Director General of the Civil Defense Commission, retired Colonel Nazrul Hussein, officially handed over the items to Grenada's Minister for Climate Resilience, the Environment and Renewable Energy, Karine James. That handover took place at the Maurice Bishop International Airport earlier today in Grenada. President Irfan Ali has announced that Guyana will support its sister CARICOM states that have been devastated by the hurricane. A special relief coordinating committee has been activated by the Guyana government, with Prime Minister Mark Phillips taking charge of that committee. President Irfan Ali has urged citizens and the private sector of the Caribbean region to coordinate closely with their respective governments and regional emergency response mechanisms in providing support and relief to those affected by the hurricane. The Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, CDEMA, has been mobilizing and coordinating assistance and disaster relief.
In St. Lucia, Soufriere waterfront and cemetery washed out by storm surge from Hurricane Beryl. DBS St. Lucia has the details.
Hurricane Beryl broke all kinds of records as it hurtled toward the islands on Monday. The storm moved from a tropical storm to a full-fledged Category 4 hurricane in under 36 hours, becoming the first ever storm to form in the Atlantic Ocean so early in the Atlantic hurricane season. No storm has reached Category 4 intensity so early in the hurricane season, so residents were understandably fearful. Even though the island was spared a direct hit, the violent waves generated by the ferocious weather system were sent crashing over the town's waterfront, turning its streets into streams. Within minutes, the entire Soufriere waterfront and the town's cemetery were underwater, with boats parked where cars ordinarily would be. On Monday, Soufriere MP Emma Hippolyte joined disaster officials in surveying the full extent of the damage, especially in the vulnerable Font Saint-Jacques community.
Yes, we've had some damages in the agricultural sector, but thank God this time around Font Saint-Jacques is spared because, you know, every serious hurricane, Font Saint-Jacques is the first community that always gets the brunt of it. This time, the crops are damaged, but lives are not lost. So again, we have to say thank God. We have been working with the farmers, as you know, before. We will continue working with them. The Lord give and the Lord take away.
Stonework done at Barons Drive several years ago is being credited with saving the part of the town from being leveled.
After Tropical Storm Lenny, the intervention was done under the administration that was present then. We're not mention names. But the design of the stones, the placing of the stones had a lot to do with what's compatible at the waterfront here. That's why that wall is never damaged. It's anti-surf. So that itself rides Quelnas free at all times when you see we have high waves. That intervention was a masterpiece, and I think we need to do that along the coast of Soufriere.
Soufriere fishers were made to pay a heavy price by Beryl, which destroyed many of their vessels. In an ironic twist, the fishers had just finished celebrating Fisherman's Feast over the weekend, and aware of the impending danger, had taken steps to secure their boats. Mother Nature would play a cruel joke on the men by sending a powerful tidal surge well inland to smash their boats, tossing them around like a toy in the hands of a needless toddler.
But they also took time to pull the boats out of the water. So this time they were not negligent. But where they thought was a safe haven for the boats, the water came, picked all of them, and placed them in the cemetery, all damaged. So that's an example for us that we have to do some type of work. The engineers will tell us what it is we have to do down in that area.
Social media is full of footage of Soufrière residents rallying together to try to save some of the fishing vessels. Soufrière MP Emma Hippolyte is optimistic that the same spirit will come to the fore as the rebuilding process begins. In the interim, she is counting on residents to be good neighbors and to open up their hearts and homes to those most severely impacted. Scores of volunteers armed with machetes and chainsaws heeded the call and converged on the town on Monday to join disaster officials in clearing roads and to get a true picture of the size of the task that now lies ahead of them in repairing the damage inflicted by Hurricane Beryl.
We have our teams out there doing the assessments as you mentioned. We are on camp at one of the schools, and we're going to go to our satellite office in a while. We're getting it organized so that we can be based there for maybe a couple of days, and then we'll be monitoring what's going on. The reports coming in from the out districts, we're going to compile everything, send it to our head office, Nemo in Castries, and then the ministries will take it from there.
With 5 more months left in the hurricane season, disaster officials are counting on Soufrière residents to recognize the lessons in the latest disaster and to move forward as they have in the aftermath of other tragedies stronger, smarter, and more determined. For the DBS News World, Manasseh Stanislas reporting.
We now bring you these international reports.
To the US now, where a Democratic Party congressman has urged President Biden to make way for another candidate in November's presidential election. Lloyd Doggett is the first to call publicly for Mr. Biden to withdraw because of his poor performance in televised debate with Donald Trump last week. Here's more from Nomia Iqbal, who's in Washington.
Huge pressure on President Biden following the debate performance, and most Democrats have expressed their concern privately, but now we're seeing some go public. You have the sitting congressman, Mr. Doggett, who has called on President Biden to resign. Nancy Pelosi, former U.S. Speaker of the House, a very close friend of President Biden, didn't go so far as to make that call, but she did say that he should take a mental and fitness health test, but also said that Donald Trump should do the same. Then you have Jim Clyburn. Jim Clyburn is an incredibly influential member of the Democratic Party, incredibly close to President Biden, and he has said that if it isn't Joe Biden, he will vote for Vice President Harris. And I think just the fact that he's even saying that rather than just completely saying, nope, there's no other option but Mr. Biden, is telling in of itself. Whether or not that pressure builds, we'll see. Mr. Biden is due to do an interview later this week with an American network, the first time he'll be sitting down following that debate performance, and there's no doubt he'll be asked many, many questions. But ultimately, if he is going to be replaced, he has to stand down, he has to resign. And his inner circle, which is made up of his wife, the First Lady, his son, Hunter Biden, and many other members of his family and other close Democrats, have said that the president has no intention of standing down.
Oh, well, let's stay with news in the US and politics, because the sentencing of Donald Trump for falsifying business records has been postponed until September after the Supreme Court ruled the former president has partial immunity. Lawyers for the former president asked for the chance to argue he should not have been prosecuted, given some evidence they say came from his time in office. Prosecutors did not object, though they said the argument was entirely without merit. Mr. Trump was convicted of paying hush money to a porn actress as he campaigned in 2016. The Supreme Court on Monday ruled presidents enjoy immunity from prosecution for official acts. Well, Thad Kauser is Professor of Political Science from the University of California, San Diego. He says the speculation surrounding the president and whether this is President Biden, of course, and whether he will run or not is getting more intense.
Well, this has really moved from just something that you read about in a column every few weeks to the defining conversation of every Democrat in America right now, and the wall-to-wall headlines that you see on the news. And I think, as you just heard with Nancy Pelosi and Jim Clyburn, two of President Biden's strongest allies, raising the question that has kind of broken down this wall of certainty around the Biden nomination that leading Democrats have built, and it's really leaving this question up for grabs over the next several days.
At the moment, though, he's showing no signs of listening to those voices. He has been saying that his poor performance in that debate was down to jet lag. He wasn't very smart for travelling around the world a few times before the debate, saying he didn't listen to his staff. What's the feeling and the mood, you know, in terms of what polls are saying about what this means since that debate, that televised debate?
Well, we haven't seen any change in the polls so far. And that's actually something that the Biden advisors and campaign team have been trumpeting. They've been saying, look, this race is just kind of locked in at a deadlock. Most Americans have made up their minds. It's all going to be a fight for who can mobilize their base. Trust us. And so the polls right now are making President Biden's point for him. But we may see, as we see this continuing drumbeat of conversation about his debate performance, we may see him decline. The other thing that these polls taken since the debate are beginning to show is that all of the candidates who've been mentioned as potential replacements from Vice President Kamala Harris to Midwestern Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Andy Beshear, other governors, they're all polling behind Joe Biden. They're not closing the gap on Donald Trump. Some of them are polling as far as 5 points behind. That's also helping Joe Biden and his team make their case to stick with him.
Okay. Interesting. Before we let you go, let's get your take on the New York judge delaying Donald Trump's sentencing until September. Your thoughts on that and its impact?
Well, this really takes this event, which will be, at least 24 hours of bad news for Donald Trump in the news cycle, though it probably won't send him to prison because he'll go out on bail if he appeals it if he's sent to prison. It takes it from one politically strategic moment, the eve of the Republican National Convention, which is his coronation. It removes that, but that puts it in another key strategic moment, right? Mid-September is when debates really ramp up. This will be about 6 weeks before the presidential contest, and it'll give him more bad news that he has to overcome during that time if he is sentenced for these 34 felony counts.
Large numbers of Palestinians have continued to flee from Khan Yunis, the second biggest city, after an Israeli evacuation order. The UN says that 250,000 people have been warned to move from the east of the city. They've been told to seek refuge in a coastal area where there are few basic services. Reports say that an Israeli airstrike killed 12 Palestinians who just arrived there, despite it being designated as a safe zone by Israel. Well, earlier I spoke to our Middle East correspondent Yolande Nell, who gave us this update.
So this is the latest evacuation order from the Israeli military. It was issued on Monday evening, and very quickly we saw thousands of people fleeing towards this coastal area over in the west of the Gaza Strip. Those scenes have been continuing, panicky, chaotic, people who've been displaced already multiple times. And the reason just so many people are affected in this part of Khan Yunis is because the city, although it had been largely destroyed by an Israeli military offensive that ended back in April, you'll remember that it was seen as being a stronghold of Hamas. Well, people had begun to return to their homes there, even if they were camping out in the rubble. And then when Israel began its ground assault in Rafah, the southernmost city of Gaza, back in May, we saw, the UN said, about 1 million people fleeing from there, and many of them ended up in Khan Yunis. Now they're on the move again, people saying it's just really not clear where they should go to for safety, because as you were saying, as much as there has been some bombardment in the east of Khan Yunis, with the Israeli military saying that one of the sites it hit was a rocket launch site where Islamic Jihad is said to have launched rockets from on Monday. But even in this area that's been designated as a humanitarian zone, we're getting a report of an Israeli airstrike that took place yesterday, killing, according to the reports we've seen from medics and local people, a family who'd just gone there from Khan Yunis. Have asked the Israeli military for comments on that strike on a building where the family were staying with other relatives of theirs, and they haven't yet been able to get back to me with a comment.
So difficulties when it comes to whether this is a genuinely designated safe zone, also the conditions on the ground. Are we getting aid through? Is the situation improving somewhat at all when it comes to getting aid distributed to people, or is it still a really difficult situation there?
I mean, of course, what's happening now with this latest mass displacement of people is just going to complicate things further. But what we've seen, according to humanitarian agencies, is that the situation in the south and in the centre of the Gaza Strip has just become much, much more difficult since Israel launched its operation in Rafah, because that closed the Rafah crossing with Egypt. That was a main crossing point for aid coming to this, the most crowded part of the Gaza Strip. You have most of the population displaced and crammed down into this half of the territory.
We know the UK is rich, spending $34 million on a wedding or $200 million on a funeral, kind of rich. So why are some people saying its health system is failing? The NHS, often cited as a source of national pride for the UK, is actually one of the worst performing medical services in the developed world. The Prime Minister blames the pandemic.
6 million referrals for treatment didn't happen during the pandemic. 6 million, right? And that's what we're catching up with.
At this year's election, the state of the NHS is at the top of many voters' lists of grievances, and both major parties have pledged to throw money at the problem.
A plan built on stable foundations with clear first steps. NHS waiting times cut with 40,000 extra appointments every week.
So how bad is it really? Well, patient satisfaction is at its lowest in 40 years. Nurses, doctors, ambulance drivers have all been on strike, demanding better conditions, better pay, and proper staffing. According to the British Medical Journal, the number of women dying in the UK giving birth, or soon after, has reached a 20-year high. 2/3 of maternity units in England are deemed unsafe. And as for the babies, Cuba has better infant mortality rates. What about funding? The UK boasts the 6th largest economy in the world. It spent $360 billion on healthcare in 2022, 11.3% of its GDP. Most other developed countries spend about the same, but they're getting better outcomes. For example, wait times. The British Medical Association says there are almost twice as many people on wait lists in the UK now compared to a few years ago. That's 7.5 million people. But analysts say it's not just COVID, it's because of years of underfunding, understaffing, and a lack of investment. Compare the UK to a few other countries and you'll see the difference. For example, one major study shows people in the UK wait longer for care than Russia, China, Rwanda. Or, for example, a coronary bypass patient might be waiting 5 times as long for surgery in the UK than in Italy. And all these delays are affecting the survivability rates of treatable illnesses like cancer. What about emergencies? Well, that's actually not any better. Someone who's had a heart attack waits an average of 45 minutes for an ambulance. The government target is 18 minutes. And if somehow you make it to hospital alive, well, you'll likely have to wait again. The number of people who waited more than 12 hours in emergency departments increased by nearly 25% in January. Compare that to, say, Iran, where one study shows patients wait an average of 45 minutes. Statistics show you're most likely to die in the UK waiting for help than in most other countries with similar health systems, like Spain, for example. The pride of the UK, hey? Well, if you're one of the millions of Brits waiting for healthcare, then probably not.
From competition enforcers targeting big tech to why bots aren't yet deciding elections. This is AI Weekly. NVIDIA looks set to face antitrust charges in France. Reuters sources say watchdogs are concerned by the firm's dominance in AI systems. If confirmed, it would be the first action against the chip champion by a national enforcer. The EU has a bunch of big names in its crosshairs. Regulators are looking at Microsoft's relationship with OpenAI and Google's partnership with Samsung. Worries include whether big tech is blocking smaller rivals from reaching users and businesses. In a year of big elections, AI isn't yet doing much to sway votes. That's the conclusion of experts in the UK who studied the technology's impact on 112 national elections. Researcher Sam Stockwell says it's more that AI is making existing problems worse.
Things such as an erosion of trust in governments and information sources, deepened political polarization, the kind of consolidation of echo chambers. All of these things, I think, deepfakes and AI threats are just enhancing.
Apple is getting a seat on OpenAI's board, sort of. Media reports say App Store chief Phil Schiller will get observer status, but no voting rights. It's all part of last month's deal to integrate the ChatGPT maker's tech into Apple products. And Baidu has launched an upgraded version of its AI model, dubbed Ernie 4.0 Turbo. The Chinese search giant wants to maintain its position in the country's competitive AI market. It says its Ernie chatbot has hit 300 million users since launch.
You were listening to the Midday News on WINNFM 98.9. The headlines?
Police issue advisory on e-commerce scams. ECCB concludes 2023-2024 financial year with record profits. Sedima officials share harsh reality of Hurricane Beryl's impact. Grenada receives aid from Guyana following passage of Hurricane Beryl. In St. Lucia, Soufriere waterfront and cemetery washed out by storm surge from Hurricane Beryl. Internationally, Joe Biden asked to step aside in race for U.S. president.
Thank you for listening.
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, and Cariboury.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com. When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness, it's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoy the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly. WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WIN FM.
Hey, what do you know? It's 12:43, and we want to welcome you back to the second half of today's presentation of Voices. My name is Socrates. It's been a share with you today on this Wing It wonderful Wednesday. But first, we'll go downtown, give Caesar his due, and come back and have a little chit chat. Okay? So see you on the other side.
Portsmouth's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less and save more. How, you ask? Essential Everyday and Equiline. Spend less on our Essential Everyday products and get the best quality, the best taste, and the best value. Spend less for all your family health and beauty needs with the Equiline brand of over-the-counter products. Portsmouth Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less. With our Essential Everyday products and Equiline over-the-counter health and beauty care products. Shop smart and spend less at Value Mart, where price matters most.
So here we go again, and I'd like to take time out to say good afternoon to Mr. Wally down there in the circus, one of the senior taxi drivers, and hope he's having the most wonderful day. As I reach out to say good afternoon to Sister Henry and folks that, so very much respected around the region. Haven't heard from you for some time. How are you doing? Mr. Fliati, next time I'm in town, I'll bring up the topic that you brought with me, very interesting. But I'm going to reach out to the person who you recommended I speak with first before I bring up that topic again. Now, here's some information that pertains to the taxi fraternity, all taxi operators. We were almost at the point where we could give you a date as to when we would meet with Mr. Larry Vaughan, Ambassador Larry Vaughan, to discuss with the taxi operators the whole issue of OECS free movement in the region. It's a topic that rose its head over the past couple of weeks, and there were people expressing concerns. And so the government's approach is to reach out to all the various entities, corporate, private, otherwise, to get their input and feedback on the free movement issue. And we were actually set up, when I say we, the presidents of the three associations, were actually set up a meeting with the membership. And we have to coordinate between the availability of a certain venue and the availability of Mr. Vaughan. We thought we had it nailed down, but later on today, we'll be confirming whether or not we can meet on the day we had in mind for next week, and then share that information in terms of time and place for that discussion. So that's an issue that we have to sort out. Lines are open for those who want to call and make any contribution. This morning we had for at least 40 minutes a discussion with Ms. Dale Amory, and was talking about a presentation planned for Sunday, the 7th at 4 o'clock at government, the government house, residence of the Governor General. Is going to be presentations and information sharing about yoga. Let's take this call, see what they have to contribute. Go to call your 11 voices.
Hi, good afternoon, Kenny.
How are you, sir?
I'm giving thanks for life, and yourself?
I'm beautiful. What's it like downtown? Are you downtown?
I'm at the airport.
Okay, you are.
On my station. I have a couple of stations that I privy to, and no one is going to take it away from me.
I couldn't see you a couple of days ago. You were very busy with the music festival, So what's going on with you today?
Huh?
A couple of days ago, you probably were busy doing the 3-4 days of the music festival. So you having a quiet day today?
Well, apart from me positioning myself, not extremely busy. I am not as fortunate as some who was really extremely busy.
What is yours is yours.
someone in the taxi fraternity asked me, do you get a little do when the music festival come around? I said, no, neither the music festival nor CPL, but I'm thankful for life. Everyone can get a do so. I'm thankful. But yeah, I cut my own niche. I had a tour yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
There was a little cancellation because of the inclement weather and the rough seas, so I guess couldn't go over. So they decided to let's do the tour yesterday, which was organized for today, and then they gone over to Nevis today.
Okay.
I always promote my mother's island also.
Come the blessings.
You know, I always tell them I'm a kitty vision.
Okay.
Your SP were the best beer, but I'm a kitty vision.
I'm from Sandy Point. That's all I'm saying. And I leave it at that.
On another note, though, that's just a light note.
Yep.
I want to thank Mr. Warner, Snyman Warner,
Snyman, yeah.
for his weighing in and really giving credence to what I was saying. And I want to say, the king, in 2013 when I planted the moringa trees, where they call the Afros, did I say the Afro strip? That was it. That is its rightful name, the agro strip.
Yeah, agro strip, yeah.
Yeah. When I planted the trees, I got some pushback from the minister then, Minister Martin, about his lighting project. I said, well, we can both live, you know. You have your lighting project, I have a vision. You're going to put the post them. He told me where he was going to put the light post them. And I said, well, I'm going to plant on the inside. And I planted on the inside. I got my children to even, I have the photos to attest to my daughters wetting the young moringa trees in the hole.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. I always like to take my guests down when fruit are in season.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go down on the strip and buy some fresh fruit.
Yep.
Always buy a surplus of mangoes so I can give to my guests, like yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes, I want to thank Mr. Warner for weighing in
and supporting you.
Giving a glimpse, a better perspective from a more academic perspective in terms of data.
Mm-hmm.
He would have had privy to it. I didn't do it on me having privy to what I think that they are thinking about naming a category, adding a category 6 and 7 to the name storms because of their intensity.
Yep.
But I just did it by my observation and saying, well, why if we are hearing these storms are getting so powerful, and I know the climate, it is getting warmer. I know the changes in the climate. And so I brought that to the fore for a discussion amongst our people so that we can lend to the daily discussion that we have on a daily basis for the edification of our people. In terms of educating our people and what to expect, we see how our neighboring islands in the south got impacted.
Yep.
And we are not blessed beyond measures of anyone else. We are in this thing together.
Well, I want to thank those countries in the meantime who've actually stepped up to the plate and are sending assistance in various forms to the islands that has been affected. We now have lots of Jamaican nationals living here, and of course, thoughts and praise is a very common phrase.
They will be bracing for the impact also.
Yes,
and
exactly.
It's only going to win on our economies. You know what I mean? Because we could do other things with to better enhance our space. Our living space in so many ways. But I already tell Mr. Duggins, I didn't tell it to him personally. Minister
Which one?
Of Agriculture.
Minister Duggins, okay.
The tree planting initiative, you know? We have to plant more trees because I bet you these hurricanes, the type of trees, they're going to be a scarcity of coconut because St. Vincent was battered and we get a lot of the coconut from there.
From St. Vincent?
Looking forward, maybe next week we may not get enough coconut. Because, you know, we import coconut from St. Vincent also.
Yes, we do.
So there's going to be a scarcity somehow, somewhere. So we have to think about planting trees, planting fruit trees.
I think...
At least, once we could eat, we could survive.
I was saying, I think there was supposed to be a beach cleanup day today from the cooperatives. I think Pump Bay and Sandy Point was targeted. I'm not sure how that will... play out based on the...
It might have been a little setback because of that.
Yes.
Water would have brought up, you know,
A lot of debris.
Regurgitate, so to speak. The water regurgitate from time to time, the mess and the dirt, the filth that is within. It's a purification process. It all goes through that. It's a purification process. Believe it or not, some people, some human beings don't understand that we repatriate, but we also reincarnate.
So tell me something.
Life, reincarnate.
Can you say if the Irish Bay Road has been opened up to the general flow of traffic as yet?
Not quite sure, but they're in the process. I saw some logistics, some movement that they was gonna do it this morning. Not quite sure, but the Newtown Bay Road, just opposite the just next south and west of the fisheries.
Yes.
That has opened up. That wasn't practical because that doesn't open where there are no boulders, because we couldn't just tap everything with boulders. But those vulnerable areas will always bring up the dirt and the road.
So imagine that, eh?
I grew up in the Newtown area, and it used to be sand. It used to be a lot of marine small craft, boats and so. But that's long gone.
Yeah, the marginal trees along there.
We see it. We see it. We live with it. We know the changes.
We had the marginal trees across there and the grape trees. That was all the protection there was before the boulevard was put in place. So when the wave activity, I mean, you had sand and debris all in the streets. It's much improved, but
so
still.
The planting initiative is very, very important.
Yeah.
But not just the interior, but on the coastline. They do. They are like going on New Guinea, and so I like those areas there because they plant trees, and we need to see more tamarind trees on the coastline and grape trees and so to kind of hold the soil too. But we need to see a lot of fruit trees, something that we can eat and survive on. And we're not seeing much from this administration. Don't want to be critical, but I must be critical.
Well,
if I don't be critical,
in your case,
how are they gonna enhance on things?
in your case, Africa, you took the initiative to plant the moringa trees upon the now Agro Strip. So there are times when you don't.
What you're referring to?
I say yes. I say in your case, you took the initiative to plant the moringa trees up and what is now the Agro Strip. So there are times.
The minister who won the election, Mr. Francis Libert, he gave me the green light. He said, now you can go and plant, providing you don't plant where overhead wires are.
Okay.
Providing you plant in a clever way where it's not going to clash with projects that the government have in the pipeline. You have the green light to plant. So I took that green light seriously. I have gotten the green light to plant anywhere where I want to plant, but I need assistance. I need some help. I need the resources in terms of the trees. And I could see Keys Gut turning into a gut where we can see mangoes, avocados, coconut, soursop in those gut sides, all the way down there, south to the coast, and then make our way up to the hillside. I can see Alois gut, all the way Ashley Allers build those structure up there and those areas. Alois gut. I could see all those little guts that come down towards Westbourne gut and all those little guts there. Let us start. We have to start somewhere.
And that will help with the soil erosion.
That Marcus Garvey said it can be.
That will help with the soil erosion, right?
Huh?
That will help with the soil erosion because we see a lot of when you have the heavy rains, all that topsoil.
Yes, like the fibrate use of the
coconut trees.
Coconut palm. Yes, that is one of the objectives, is to keep the banks from being eroded with all this rain that will fall. The banks would be, kept intact when we do that also. So we are mitigating at the same time as we are feeding our people. Where there's no vision, the people will perish, I just don't come on and talk of religious matters. I come on and talk of holistic things for the benefit of educating the public.
It's all for the edification of the public.
Yes, when you go into the religious path, I am as versed as any theologian. In my own common sense way, I am as versed as any theologian to dissect the word, because I see myself in the book also. I don't read the book as if I'm not in there, like some Christians and some other religious persons would do. I read the book as if I am in there because I am in there. It is referring to us. That is why the Christians and the Islamic Muslim people, they call the Africans peoples of the book. Whether they say it in a positive way, because we are so stubborn and we always get sent into servitude by not adhering to the Most High will, we were known as peoples of the book because the Indians and the other people know it. There was a video who talked about this Chinaman who talk about African people are so stupid. And then the Prime Minister of Jamaica picked it up and agreed on certain aspect of the stupidity of our people. Because we are people what the book and all the religious books refer to us, but we don't see ourselves as being referred to as to being deviant, get back on the right path, or how can we better our situation. So we are the economic ladder of all things.
It is sad,
Everyone
Africa.
has come and step on our toes from our own wealth.
It's a sad testimony of our people's behavior and mindset. I saw the article. I refused to entertain it, but just about everywhere you turn, you see it. But there's some sad truth to it. Currently, Sandy Point, right? And we speak about the replacement of what was called the mom and pop shops. And let's say the Chinese because that's the whole thing. It's happening time and time again. And they actually force the locals out of business. But who support them? It's locals.
The King, I did a tour yesterday in St. Paul's. I saw the guy coming out of the grocery store, the owner, and predominantly, St. Paul's is the heart of, you know what I mean? And it's like, wow. Couldn't it be that the St. Paulians supporting their very own?
They don't.
Why did it have to be someone who came from, to use a colloquial term, and not in a bad way? It's just a colloquial term I will use. Why would it have to be someone who bang water to come here? For we to support them like that?
Well, in the first place,
how stupid we are, because it's stupidity.
Apart from the economic structure being put in place for them, we are the ones who build them simply by not supporting our own.
They can be competitive on another level if we allow it to be, by we supporting our own.
If
and then they
we
will go with
allow it to
competition.
be and support our own, we do not.
Yes, we will. Yes, the bottom line is that we allow it to be, because we don't know the economics of things. So we allow it to be. When I do my tour, I have a little sandbox. I have a little sandbox thing that we used to play with. And I'm saying, can you imagine we can export these things? Export these things because so many things are being exported to St. Kitts. What are we exporting? You couldn't imagine that some person somewhere around the world would appreciate this? The way we
But we have to have that.
They
We
don't
have to have
any
that.
appreciation for any other culture.
We have to have appreciation of self. We have to have the appreciation and get the assistance from the Ministry of Trade. Because there's some products really crafted here, but they're not marketed. Except that we put them in some of our people in the Nima market, which is at the bottom of where the very end of the walk, where the cruise passengers come to St. Kitts.
I hope no one is trying to get in on the line because
But I've asked Strength.
I'm long-winded and talk too much on the
I've
radio.
asked the engineer to monitor if the other calls, I would then cut
okay.
you.
But if there's call, you let me know.
Yes.
So we can exit. But when we're in a drive, when we're meshing, when we're really dealing with the matters that need to be vented, I can talk forever. All right, the King.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
Have a nice one. We now pause for another station break, and we will be right back.
Attention, savvy shoppers. It's that time of year again to upgrade your home and feed your family with Horsford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store. For over 25 years, we've been making dreams come true by offering cashback coupons for free groceries on all hire purchases. That's right, we've given away over $1 million worth of groceries to our loyal customers. And this year, it's your time to cash in on the savings. Whether you're in the market for a new sofa, a sleek kitchen upgrade, or a cozy cozy bedroom set, Hortford's and Ashley Furniture Home Store have everything you need to turn your house into a home. And when you make a higher purchase with us, you'll receive cashback coupons redeemable for free groceries.
Yes, sir.
So why wait? Visit Hortford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store today and take advantage of this incredible offer. Upgrade your home, feed your family, and save big with cashback coupons for free groceries. Only at Hortford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store.
Hey, once again, good afternoon. Welcome back to Voices. The numbers to call are 662-0989, 762-0989, and you get into the conversation. If you want to introduce a different topic, whatever, it's called Voices. It's all about yours. Now, I must say, we have a call? Okay. Yeah. Call 11 Voices.
Yeah, you got me.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. I have a question to ask you, but go ahead.
Okay. The way the telephone is set up, right?
Mm-hmm.
When someone is on the line and others calling in, the answering machine coming on and telling you that the call you're trying to get is busy and you could hang up and call back.
So you were trying to get in?
Yeah, man.
Okay, because what happened, I'm not the engineer, I'm in the booth. So I signal to the engineer and ask him if there are calls coming in. And once there are, I would then entertain this call and ask, So it's not that we are ignoring, but you're saying that there's a prompt that says to you that the call you're trying to reach is XYZ.
Exactly.
Okay, it's not showing up in the board.
So when you hear that, then you can't get you until the person come off.
Okay.
That's the way the system set up.
I thought there were different lines, so as one, I don't know.
They're supposed to get 3 lines, but I just call on the 466.
All right.
Now, when you had your guest, the yoga guest on the program?
Yes, Reggie, I'm his wife.
Yes. Wait,
no widow.
Persons know that Newtown had a master export yoga man up there, a young fellow in the 70s. He used to be all over the place showing his export. What he used to do, he would sit down and take it to foot, hang them over his shoulder, and he instant behind the back.
Was it Ibashii? Ibashii?
I think that's his name, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. And he used to walk with the foot them behind the back.
He was a contortionist. He was what you call a contortionist.
Okay. And he will take off the foot from behind the back of the shoulder, wrap it around the neck while the other foot still hanging over his shoulder. And people used to watch him with just their mouth open saying, ah.
He was a contortionist. He moved to Canada some years after.
He died?
No, he moved to Canada.
Oh, okay.
But we saw him perform at Warner Park and various places. He would contort himself in a very small, how they put it, like a ball, so to speak, into a box. Insert his entire body into a box, and when I say a box, like, say the size of what we used to call a biscuit pan them. Right? And it took a lot of practice, and one of the things that was part of his diet was okra. It made your bones and your joints very supple.
Mm-hmm.
We had that awesome degree of talent here in the Federation. And he was very, very regarded. But we have to do so much that we take for granted.
I used to talk to him. Anywhere I see me, he talk, and I said, boy, you are something else. You are something. I said, wait, tell me something. You born them make out a sick yet?
It takes a lot of practice, daily dedication, discipline, and his diet would have played a major role. He was Rastafarian, so it's fair to say he was, let's say, use the term vegetarian, because they don't deal with flesh. As I say, that would help your metabolism the way you could contort. So he was a contortionist, one of the best I've ever seen. I've seen them on the world stage, and he easily, right, could compete and give those that we see up there a run for the money.
He could win the gold medal if that
Olympics. If it was Olympic sports,
in the Olympics. he could win the gold medal easily. He don't have to go out and train 8 hours a day. Now, let me switch to something else.
Okay.
With all these hurricanes that we expected to come, because, you know, the
forecast,
global heat warming, that they're going to play a major role. Because before we had that, you know, we had them furious ones, and now it is more worse. So therefore, I am saying this. Suppose the contractor them never get the orders on the plan to safeguard Old Road Bay with water breakers. You know what will happen across if any vehicle coming? Now, in St. Thomas Airport, when I was working at the airport, I was doing welding in the night. Most of the airport length is out in the sea water. And when you come in a plane and you look down, you see all those water breakers around it.
Talking about the runway.
Right. If they never put them there, the water would have come and sweep straight over the runway strip, go right up where the college is.
Mm-hmm.
So, and those breakers, they play a major part in protecting vehicles from sweep off of Old Road Bay. So when some people, for political mileage, going to criticize the Old Road Bay structure and say that those boulders, what they put there to break the water, it's taking away the view.
Blocking away the view.
Yes. I mean, come on, people, man. Look at people's lives. They're there to save people's lives. If you want a view, go down Spratnet.
Yes.
And sit down and you got this.
View the sunsets.
Right. Go down Pump Bay. Pump Bay, I love Pump Bay, you know.
And you gave me reasons.
We used to talk about Pump Bay.
Mm-hmm.
I had friends down there. I love Pump Bay. You could go down Pump Bay and still have a wider view than Old Road Bay.
Yeah, it depends. I was there Sunday morning, actually, so I know you're coming all the way to the fortress from down there. But here's what, no. On that topic that you raise, it's pure nonsense. You're traveling west, you come around the curve there, just below where the cemetery was, where across from where the Honorable Constance Mitchell home is. And before they put the new road, you're seeing a drop-off on the left if you're traveling left, west. From the right, you have the cliff. With the soil erosion, especially during rainy season, rock fall would come down there and put the traveling public in danger. That investment that was long promised eventually came to fruition. And it's designed in such a way that when the wave activity comes, rather than hitting a straight upright wall, right, it followed the contours of the rock. So it goes in like a curve up, and then it breaks the impact, right? People complain, well, they should not have done it well because it blocks the view. View of what?
I don't know.
So you want to have a lower wall, so when the wave come now, they tear up the road. Remember some hurricanes some years ago? Tore up the road so you could not leave Sandy Point to come to Bastia. You had to drive all the way around. So I am satisfied and comfortable with that investment. I have one problem with it now. They need to paint the median lines in the road so you can see at night, because where the lights are situated is to the right of the road itself. It's not really covering the road properly. So at night time when you're driving there, you're wondering where is the dividing lines in the road? Or where are the lines? There's none.
None.
So that's my concern at the moment. Other than that, it's an investment that took into consideration the safety of the people.
Right. Safety first. Safety
Of course.
First. Anyway, let me get out the way let someone else come in, because I hear a phone ringing in the background.
Much appreciated. Let's see if there are any calls and a signal on the board.
Right. Thank you very much.
Okay, there's nothing there, but we continue discussion. So we shifted to a feature that was needed in terms of preparing the country, better preparing the country to absorb the impact of hurricanes in the area of Old Road Bay, in that vicinity. And I think that was a major and sound investment. We're taking this caller. Good day. Caller, you're live on Voices. Good afternoon, caller. You're live on Voices.
Good afternoon, Socrates.
Welcome back to the program. How are you?
Yes, I'm good.
Had a good lunch?
No, yeah, well, I ain't have no lunch. I had something earlier, but no, I ain't have no lunch as yet.
Okay.
No. Yes, what I'm calling to talk about is the yoga issue.
Go ahead.
No. Yes, no. While I do not see anything wrong with the physical exercises, the stretchings and that sort of stuff, while there's nothing wrong with those in and of themselves, where the teachings of yoga is concerned, they go against the Bible and they are demonic. For example, one of the teachings of yoga, and it ain't just yoga, but a lot of Eastern religion, Buddhism, Hinduism, and even Chinese Taoism and Zenism and that sort of Buddhism and that sort of stuff. What a lot of them teach, including yoga, as I said, is that, for example, the lady mentioned it, you're supposed to clear your mind, empty your mind. That goes against the Bible big time. And when you empty your mind, which in that sense also when they say clear your mind, when you empty or clear your mind, you make your mind a lot more susceptible for demonic control. The Bible ain't tell you to empty your mind or clear your mind of everything. What the Bible tells you is that you're supposed to fill your mind always with the Word of God. Meditate day and night on the Word of God, according, for example, to the Psalms, which is totally contrary to emptying your mind or clearing your mind of everything. You see, the Bible says, beware of the strategies of Satan. Because when you clear or empty your mind of everything, you make your mind a whole lot more susceptible.
Is that the only result?
To control by Satan. Repeat?
Is that the only result when you empty your mind? Because we're talking about some regard being filled with a spiritual sense. It doesn't mean it's demonic. Spirituality presents in many forms, but you only see it as being demonic. Right? We are spiritual. We are spirit. What it says? What does the Bible say? God is a spirit, so when we worship, we must worship in spirit.
Yeah, God is spirit.
So you empty your mind, you block out all the negative energy, and you go to a spiritual plane. It doesn't necessarily mean something demonic.
Well, it is demonic. That is demonic because we are not to empty, clear your mind of everything. It's an anti-scriptural teaching that make it easier for the demons them to control your mind. Your mind's supposed to always be filled day and night with you meditating on the word day and night on the word of God. On the word of God. Never clear those things out your mind. Never empty those biblical things out your mind, teachings out your mind. Never do that.
So you're saying that the practice of yoga in terms of meditation and clearing your mind, it's anti-Bible,
spiritual.
Anti-spiritual, scriptural?
Yeah, and it opens your mind a lot more for demonic control because you don't have those guardrails, you don't have those biblical guardrails in your mind. And not only that, it ain't just yoga. Yoga is one of them, but like I said, a lot of these Eastern religions and Asian religion, like Chinese and that sort of, teach basically the same thing too. And not only that, yoga that try to please everybody. That's why they say, oh, you could be Islam and still be doing yoga. You could be Christian and still be doing yoga. No, you can't be Christian and doing those. I'm not talking about the physical exercise. I'm talking about these spiritual teachings of yoga. You can't be a Christian and holding on to the spiritual teachings of yoga.
What exactly did it teach you, Fido? Because you just mentioned the emptying of your mind.
Yeah. Well, another thing in yoga is to, accept all religions as true. That's another thing. That
and you know this how?
Is not the way.
Have you ever attended a session and proven this to be true?
No, I've never attended a specific session, but I've done reading and I've heard people speaking, and including those who practice yoga. Up to when the lady was speaking, I was on the internet checking out some teachings and yoga and that sort of stuff.
Do you believe God is the creator of the universe?
Eh?
Do you believe that God is the creator of the universe?
Yes, I believe that God, Jesus Christ, and the Trinity, because the second member of the Trinity, they are the creator of the universe. The Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
So when you're doing certain things, it requires a certain level of concentration. Blocking out the negative energy if you can, getting rid of certain things that would encumber you because we take on too much stressful issues daily. So you put yourself in a state of mind where these things are blocked out so you can focus on what you're doing. Does that make it a demonic practice?
If those things that if your mind is not on the teachings of the Word of God, okay, then you're doing a practice that is demonic. If your mind is not on the teachings of the Bible, because it is the teachings of the Bible that really and truly calm your mind and focus the mind in the right direction. Nothing else do that. So anything other than the Bible is carrying your mind in a wrong direction.
I know people, right? I know people who refuses to go to church because of the, I won't say doctrines, but the practice they observe from the pulpit, right? But every single morning or whatever, they kneel and they have that one-on-one communion with their maker, whomever they see as a God, spiritually one-on-one. They do not read the Bible, they don't go out and teach and preach the Bible, but they make a spiritual connection with whom they deem as their creator, the one God.
Well, I'm not saying look to the church, I'm saying look to the Bible. Because the church,
but many who interpret the Bible for us gives us the wrong instructions or misinterprets for us.
But it is the onus on us is to for each of us individually to read the Bible, study the Bible, and come to the right interpretation. Because on the day of judgment, when you're in front of God for judgment, you can't go tell God, well, let the preacher answer for you because he misled you. No, God going to tell you, based upon the Bible, you had a responsibility to research and read his word. And that's what the Bible tells all of us to do. Read his word, study his word, prove all things and hold steadfast to that which is good according to his word. So the preacher man, yes, he's going to have a lot to answer to, but you yourself going to have to answer for your own self and judgment there as well. So I telling people, don't depend on the preacher to lead you in the ways of the Bible. You have to study it yourself, and you have to understand yourself what the Bible says. As a matter of fact, every Sunday you find the devil in the pulpit in too many churches. So I'm not really talking about
only on Sundays.
About church. Eh?
Only on Sundays, but anyway, the bottom line is,
and many pulpits you find the devil.
The bottom line is saying that the bottom line from where you sit is to discourage anybody who would want to go to one of these yoga classes and follow the instructions. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like I said, let me make a distinction. I have no problem with the physical exercises in and of themselves. That's not a problem. Because physical exercises are just physical exercise, whether it be yoga or whatever. The problem with yoga, as well as all other things that are not biblical, is the teachings, the spiritual teachings, and yoga is filled with a lot of anti-scriptural teachings, which really and truly are demonic. Like I said, for example, they deny the gospel. They deny that Jesus Christ is the only way to salvation.
The Hindus,
yoga.
The Hindus, there are many other religions out there that accept a Godhead, but different messiahs.
Well, but and the Bible says, "Have no other God except me."
I understand that too.
Yeah, that's why the Bible says, "Have no other God except me." And God told his people in Israel, if any of them follow another God, kill them. So
Somebody sent me a contribution because it reads, because you're talking about the Bible, and they want me to reference this because this is part of our history. Where is it now? And the question is, did you know there was a white Bible used during slavery? Respond to that, because that have done so much damage to our people, so much damage to people's mindset, to the point that we can't really think for ourselves. But here the Bible says, God say this and that, have no other God but me, slave obey your master, etc., etc. So do you know that there was a white Bible used during slavery? This come from Brenda O'Neill. So respond to that, please.
Yes, during slavery, there was a Bible known as the Slave Bible.
And the purpose was for?
And it was for brainwashing black people, to tell them that, as far as I understand it, to brainwash them, to tell them that, hey, naturally you are a slave, and don't speak out against slavery, because the way it was practiced, like in the South and the South, was correct. That is what I understand the slave Bible was about, to try to justify the slave system that was practiced in the South and that sort of stuff. No.
And they taught us that our culture and our practices in terms of Africans and how we worshipped was demonic, etc., black magic, etc., and we bought that wholeheartedly. So here we have this thing now, which is yoga, and it speaks to certain practices, but you're saying it's demonic.
Yeah, but before the slave Bible was a perverted edition of the Bible. No, the true Bible existed 2,000 and so years before.
Have you ever seen a copy of it?
I'm talking about the Bible in its original form.
Have you ever seen a copy of it?
I have copies of it.
In its original form, written in America?
On Amazon, No, what I'm saying, continue, Socrates.
Written in America? In its original form?
No. The Bible originally, that was written by the prophets and apostles of God, was written in Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek.
Yeah, first America. Yeah. So there's been no translation. As far as you're concerned, there's been no translation. What you have, it's written in its original form, language apart, but in its original form. That's what you have, that text.
I also have that, and we need, for people who can't read the original language or who don't do studies in it, they're obviously going to need translations. But we all should invest in trying to learn as much as we can of the original language.
Of the universe.
We all should invest in
of
that.
The wider universe.
Kind of Hello?
Try and learn as much as we can of the wider universe.
Right, we should, but especially what matters most, which is your soul salvation, which is the Bible, which has your soul salvation.
There were times I sit on my rooftop at nights, looking about the constellation and embracing the awesomeness of the world, of the universe. The stars, the constellation, even the rainbow, just pause and take it all in. Emptying myself of all other distractions and just embracing all that.
Yeah, but if you empty yourself of the Word of God, you open your mind automatically to demonic influences. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
For example, the rainbow God, when you look at the rainbow God, you should be thinking, hey, the rainbow represents God's promise not to destroy the world again by fire because of man's sin.
Yes, I understand and embrace that because I was taught as a child.
Water, not by fire, but next time you're going to destroy it by fire. But when you look at the rainbow, you should.
The promise of the rainbow.
And in the Bible, that God ain't going to destroy the world again by water.
By nuclear configuration?
Well, I don't. Well, I don't know how. Well, no, I don't think it's going to be nuclear, but I think when God come back, He's going to purify the earth with fire. He's going to purify it.
It is written that man. It is written that man shall be the end of his own destruction. I'm thinking nuclear.
That ain't true.
It's not in the Bible.
No. People misinterpret.
We almost all the time, though.
That's not true. Man ain't going to destroy himself. Man is going to get converted by and large before Christ come back. Because the Bible said the kingdom of God. The Bible said in the book of Daniel. In the book of Daniel, it says the kingdom of God is going to grow and grow and grow until when it fills the whole world with the knowledge of God. And Christ, and in 1 Corinthians 15, Christ tells us, is when he make all his enemies to be his footstool is when he's going to come back. So the Bible really tells us of a worldwide conversion for most vast majority of the world.
Okay.
It ain't tell us that we've been here over the century, but that man going to destroy himself, and things don't get worse and worse and worse and worse until when Christ come back. No.
Okay,
There's
great.
going to be a turnaround at some point in the future.
I want to thank
That's
you,
what the Bible teaches.
as always, for your contribution. Okay?
Okay, so thank you, too. Thank you for
You
your
come
time.
from your heart, and I do appreciate it, okay?
Thank you for your time. God bless you. And your followers and listeners.
Got to take a call from Anguilla as we speak. I want to thank our viewers and listeners who were with us throughout today's presentation of Voices. I want to thank our guest who was here earlier today, Ms. Dale Amory. She's got a presentation at the Government House on Sunday at 4 o'clock, and she's invited the public to come and get some information and demonstration of yoga. I think I'm going to show up. And Jeffrey, by Monday, I'll be able to give you feedback as to what my experience was, right? So I want to wish the rest of our viewers or listeners, all those within the Federation, the rest of a most beautiful Wednesday. And hopefully on Friday, we will be able to continue a similar debate. Peace.